I discovered Fletch when trying to find films that George Wendt had been in, and I read the premise to this and it sounded really interesting. And just as a side note, George Wendt is not in it very much, which is a shame, because the rest of the film was kind of mediocre. Now, it is very well received. It's a film that I know a lot of people really like, but personally, I didn't take to it, and I think the premise would have worked better as a dark thriller, because it is a comedy, but it's kind of cheesy and not very funny at all. I didn't laugh once, I don't think. It is clever, it's very clever, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So this was released in 1985, directed by Michael Ritchie and written by Andrew Bergman, based on the novel by Gregory McDonald, and stars Chevy Chase. And the description from IMDb is as follows. Irwin M. Fletcher is a newspaper reporter being offered a large sum to off a cancerous millionaire, but is on the run, risking his job and finding clues when it's clear that the man is healthy. So Fletch is offered a lot of money if he murders a man who says that he has cancer and doesn't really want to live through the end stages, but he can't kill himself because his firm has got a large life insurance policy on him and it doesn't cover suicide. So he offers Fletch money to kill him. And that's really interesting, because a lot of the film is trying to work out why is he lying about this, or why does it look like he's lying about this, what's in it for him, and obviously what's going to happen to Fletch. Is he going to go through with this? What's he going to unearth? So as a concept, it's really interesting and very surprising and not predictable in the slightest. So that is something I really liked about it. But I think the fact that it isn't funny, for me, means that it just didn't really offer very much in terms of engagement. When we find out something new, it's not revealed in a dark and dramatic way that's really thrilling. So it kind of lacks any emotion for me. It's interesting to a degree, but I would have liked it to have been either a lot funnier or a lot darker. For me, it's just in the middle of the road and it doesn't really work for me. But what I do think is absolutely fantastic is how creative it is. The dialogue for Fletch is incredible. Just things that come out of his mouth without him having any time to think. He just says them matter-of-factly. And I think that that's absolutely brilliant. The character is very quick thinking and gets himself into some odd situations by his own admission, and I just can't believe how clever it is. It is an exceptionally clever script with an exceptionally clever execution. It just isn't funny, and that for me is obviously kind of where the problem lies. So would I recommend it? I think I would, because if it's your kind of humour, you will probably enjoy it. Just for me, I didn't like it because it's not my kind of humour. And I'm glad I've seen it, to say I've seen it, because it's, I think it's one of those films. There is, I believe, a sequel to this, which I won't be watching unless anybody says that it's definitely worth watching. It's not a bad film. It's got a lot of positive things going for it. It's just, for me, the genre wasn't quite right for what I would have wanted from this. Not a bad film, but I'd say give it a go.